Do you like my new badge? Apparently I'm in the science division. Nice little magnetic thing there. I had to put it slightly higher than I thought it would, than it probably is meant to go, just to get it in shot. But got something to wear during all these reviews. Excellent. I got it in my stocking from Santa Claus. Yes, I am a 35-year-old man that still gets a stocking from Santa Claus. You can criticise all you want, but I know it's just jealousy. Hi, I'm Phil, welcome to my channel where I talk about all the geeky pop culture that I enjoy and consume. We're talking about Star Trek. We're nearing the end of Season 3 of Discovery. Only 2 more episodes after this one to go, and we're at the season finale, and things are ramping up now. We're talking about the 11th episode, I think it is. Yeah, the 11th episode, which I've seen go under 2 different titles, so I'm not sure which one it actually is. I've seen it referred to as The Citadel. I've seen it referred to as the guy's name that I can't remember. Saku? Something like that? I can't remember his name. I'm not sure which title is the accurate one now, to be honest. I've multiple places, I see it called different things. But whatever it's called, that's the episode we're reviewing today. Quick warning for spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, go away, watch it, come back now. I also want to make an apology. This review is quite late comparatively. You know, usually I get it out on the day it's released in America. Sometimes it'll be the next day, so usually I get it out latest on a Friday. It is now... Wait, what day is it? I completely lose track of the days during the holiday season. It's Monday, I think, the following week. I think it's Monday. Is it Monday? I think it's Monday. Monday the following week, and I'm only just now getting around to this. Because it's Christmas, I had family stuff to do. You know, got small kids, they demand attention. So I haven't had a chance to get around to it till now. So that probably means this is not getting any views, because everyone will have already done all their review watching for this episode. But I'm a completist, I got to record it anyway. Do me a favour, help me out and hit that like button if you are watching this. Because then at least I will feel that even if it doesn't get as many views as the reviews normally get, at least some people are liking it. So generally, did I give the spoiler warning? I think I did. Spoiler warning, just in case I didn't. I thought this was an okay episode. I thought this was actually quite enjoyable. There were some elements of it I really liked. There were elements of the plot arc that I think I still need to wait and see where it goes to see how I feel about it. I'm talking about specifically the reason for the burn, that we found out in this episode what caused it. But we didn't find out how it caused it, if that makes sense. We know the cause, we know the root of the cause, we know who is the cause, but we don't know exactly how that works yet. And that's kind of one bit of information I'm waiting on to see how I feel about it. Yeah, I'm not sure about it yet. We'll see. I don't think it's going down quite as bad a route as Control did at the end of the last season, where I thought that just didn't pay off very well. This, I'm not as worried, but it's still a possibility. Basically, we just have to wait and see. I'm going to try and keep this quite short and sweet because it is late and I just want to get it done and out there. So the things I liked about this episode, there was a very early scene where it sort of picks up right after the end of the last episode. We're still at the wake, the sort of memorial for Georgiou, Empress Georgiou, and there's a scene between Stamets and Adira. Is that their name? Oh, I'm going blank on names now. I think that's the name. Whatever. This is what happens when I wait a week to review something. Half a week to review something. I forget things. Yeah, but there's this lovely scene between the two of them, and then Grey shows up, having been gone AWOL for a few episodes, and Adira's been very concerned about that and wondering why they've been abandoned. And there's this really nice moment where Stamets sort of turns to where he thinks Grey is, where Adira's seeing Grey, and he says, "I would give you a piece of my mind." And it's just this nice sort of, the friendship between the two of them, between Adira and Stamets, and the kind of support, sort of parental relationship they've got going is really sweet and lovely. And the fact that he's just willing to support her in all sorts of ways, and this is such a must be such a strange situation for him to turn and effectively talk to thin air. And yet he's willing to do it because it's important and he knows that it's supporting her. It's just such a lovely, nice little moment. I like some of the stuff we get with Colbert as well. He mentions that, he's sort of found his purpose since coming to the future. And we've seen him sort of take on this sort of very kind of counselor role to members of the other crew. And it definitely feels like he's got more of a role than just doctor now. He's the confidant of people. He's the person that can help out people with their emotional struggles as well. So this was sort of a continuation of that, and he acknowledges that, and as a consequence, he's determined to go down on the planet, despite the fact that Stamets doesn't want him to. So I like the fact that we're seeing Colbert a lot in this season, and we're getting this sort of character arc for him, because he's a good character, and I like seeing more of him. I'm keen to see more of him. When they beam down to the planet, that's where we get the stuff that I really like. It's kind of got a very weird David Lynchian maybe quality to this holographic world they end up in. It's very surreal. It's very trippy. It's kind of like an auteur movie in a way. Some of the scenes, some of the set pieces reminded me, where there's all the stairs, that reminded me of something like Labyrinth, if you've ever seen that film with David Bowie. And okay, none of the stairs were upside down and they weren't walking upside down, but it kind of had that feel of a decaying castle with all these stairs going in all sorts of random directions. So I really loved the environment they built up, and it was beautiful. It looked visually very stunning. There were lots of nice quirks. It was good to see the holograms that sort of turned up. We got various eras of Starfleet uniforms, various eras of filling in a little bit of the history, like the Kelpians joining the Federation. That was nice to see. So there were lots of nice aspects of the hologram environment that they found themselves beamed down to. One element that I both like and dislike in equal measure for different reasons is the fact that they changed their appearance. Part of the hologram program put some kind of holographic skin over them to make them look like different species. And the explanation given in universe for this was that to not scare the child. The Kelpian child, who is now a grown adult but effectively has the mind of a child, to not scare that creature, that person, because things they were unfamiliar with. But the logic of that doesn't really play out, because they change. I get why they wouldn't. Maybe seeing another Kelpian might be a shock to him, and therefore they change Saru to be a human to fit more into what he's expecting to see. Fine, okay, maybe. Despite the fact that there are other Kelpians in holographic form elsewhere we see, I can just about buy that. But if you're going to change Saru into a human, why change the humans out of being humans? If humans are fine, if humans aren't going to scare him, why change Michael and Colbert away from being humans? Seems a bit strange. But it did give us the opportunity to have Doug Jones out of his makeup for one of the very few times in his career, because his career is pretty much dominated by being under prosthetics. In almost everything everything I've seen him in, he's been under prosthetics. So it's really good to see the actor out of that, bit freed up from that. It frees up your face to do more with it, to emote more, to act more in a different type of way. I mean, don't get me wrong, he does an amazing job under that prosthetics. He is very good at conveying all the feelings and emotion and all that sort of stuff under those. But it's really good to see him freed up from that and get to see him sort of flex some different type of acting muscles that he doesn't usually get to flex. So that was really nice to see. I really liked the polite clapping of the assembled Starfleet personnel in holographic form when they ask, "Are you here to rescue the child?" And they go, "Yes." And there's a little polite clapping. I don't know why, it tickled me. I loved it. It was hilarious. I really did enjoy that. But getting to the crux of that storyline, what I'm waiting on is to find out how it goes, because we find out that basically this Kelpian's emotional distress somehow caused the burn. And I don't know if I missed a bit. I've only watched it once. I don't know if they've explained it more than that, but somehow he's tuned into the resonance of the dilithium, and somehow when he gets too scared, it set off the burn. And it appears that they almost set off another one, they say at one point. So, I'm glad it's not Burnham related. I'm glad it's not Discovery related. Because I think if they had caused it, that would be a bit too contrived. I like the fact that it's separate from them. I'm waiting on the rest of the episodes to see how much I like the actual concept itself. I thought the actor, I'm not sure his name, but whoever played that Kelpian, again, I can't remember the character's name or the actor's name, he did a fantastic job as this sort of scared, emotionally vulnerable character who sort of was very childlike still. Because he hasn't had the social interaction with other human adults. He's only had holograms to raise him this whole time. And he's very vulnerable, and he portrays that very well. I really like the scene where Michael pretends to be a hologram and interacts with him in order to try and get some information out of him. There's this sort of... it gives Sonequa Martin-Green something different to work with. And again, shows off that she is a great actress. She's a versatile actress when she's given the stuff. And I think here was something completely different for her to do. And I think she excelled at it. I thought it was very, very, in a way, humorous, but also sort of very touching, especially when she touched a nerve on some touchy subjects for this guy. So that was a lovely scene. What else was there? Oh, let's get away from the planet for the minute. Back on the ship, we got the Osiris storyline where the Osiris turns up with her ship, and she is determined to capture Discovery. Now, Tilly's had this arc of being promoted to acting second in command, and here she is taking the con. She is in command of the ship for the first time by herself. And there's this scene which I think was very important between her and Michael near the beginning of the episode, before Michael goes down to the planet, where she expresses her concern, her anxiety, her worry, because I think there had been some criticism that she had sort of snapped into, she'd been given the promotion, she'd worried about it for that episode while she was being given it, and then she was suddenly all confident, and that was a bit jarring. What I think we see here is the revelation that she has an outward appearance of acting confident when she needs to, but actually internally she is very anxiety ridden still. She's very concerned whether or not she's doing the right thing. She doesn't know if she'll do a good job. All of that stuff is still there under the surface. She just does a very good job at putting on the act that she thinks she needs to put on when she's in the company of people that she isn't prepared to be vulnerable in front of. So with Michael, she lets that out and shows that she's willing to, shows the willingness to show that she actually is still bricking it and actually isn't confident at all. But when she's on that bridge, in that seat, and you see this when she gets into the confrontation with Osiris, she is, she portrays an air of confidence that because of that scene earlier on, and that's why that scene is very important. That it's not actually accurate. She's faking it to some degree, but she does it really well. So I think that scene earlier on was very important for that reason. And we get to see Osiris, there's this great back and forth banter between them, and Tilly does a fantastic job, but there's something, I can't remember what it is she says, but Osiris manages to get into the cracks, and you see a little falter there in the crack. There's a little crack in the facade that Tilly has put up, and then she comes out of it again, and she gets back into the sort of the bravado aspect of it, but the crack is still there. And I think it was very interesting, and I'm interested to see where this goes from here, because obviously, as we know, the Emerald Chain board the ship, sees the ship, and effectively Tilly has lost the ship. How is that going to affect her confidence in future episodes? Is she going to feel even more of a failure and feel that she can't go on to continue being second in command or whatever? Is it going to really dent her confidence? It'll be interesting to see that. Osiris herself also got a little bit more development this time, I think. Or development might be the wrong word. She was just more interesting this time. I think previously we hadn't really seen enough of her, and what we had seen of her in that one episode where she was her main focus was kind of very stereotypical, and it still is a little bit here, but it was fun here, and the banter between her and Tilly was fun. So definitely an improvement on Osiris for me. Oh, I did find the name of the episode. I did write it down. It was on the reverse side of my notes. Saku. There we go. Saku. It ended on a cliffhanger. I think we're going to get a run now for the last 2 episodes of cliffhanger into the next one. I hope that they don't resolve all of the problems in this next episode and then it's something different for the final one. I would like to see this now be on a trajectory of keep on ramping up the pace. The pace was good on this one. And let's steam ahead. I think this did a good job of really steaming ahead on the plot arc. And I think we're going to start to get some resolutions now. I'm interested to see where it will go. I'm not sure yet. Haven't made firm decisions. I think I need to see the whole thing. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be back next week for another review. And thank you for watching. And please do hit that like button, share this around, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you for another review next week. Or this week. Later this week, in fact. Because I'm late with this one. Bye.